We're the leading scaling solution for NFTs, and today we have Nifty League, and we're joined by Andy, the co-founder, and Bolo Dave, the community manager of Nifty League. Super excited to chat with you guys today, and we'll just get right into it. So first off, starting with Dave, could you briefly introduce yourself and your respective role before passing it to Andy?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, David. Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Bolo Dave. I'm the community manager here at Nifty League. I'm also a big part of our company's strategy with game theory and just certain decisions that we make along the way. And I'm also taking a big part on spearheading partnerships. And I'll pass it to Andy.
Hey everyone, Andy here. I'm one of the co-founders at Nifty League. Started working at Activision prior to this as an engineer, and came with my buddy Snarfy. He was my manager there at Activision at the time, and we kind of came up with this cool idea. I focus more on front end, back end, crypto, Web3 development stuff. I'm also doing a lot of business operations as well for Nifty League.
Awesome. I'm happy to have both of you here. Thanks for the quick intros, little description of what you guys do in your respective roles as well. So without further ado, I've got a question for you first, Andy. What is Nifty League and your mission? Just because I know we have some first-time listeners here today.
Yeah. So I guess first to get into our mission, I think it's kind of important to understand some of the problems we saw early on, kind of some of the solutions we saw there for this. So ultimately, really, the problem early on is going to be at game publishers. Coming from indie game development background like Snarfy, there's a lot of problems both on the development end as well as from the players. So if you can imagine being an independent developer, it's really hard to secure funding. There's a lot of really awesome ideas out there for new games, but there's not really an outlet to get them to market, and it's quite difficult. From the player side, the players ultimately don't really have ownership of the games. The publishers have too much control over what's being developed, and players kind of lack a say in what they desire. And so with Nifty League, we really wanted to build what's ultimately going to be like a decentralized game development studio, our platform. And you can kind of imagine this, at least if you look at us currently today, we're just a game studio. We have Nifty Smash was our first title that went live last year, and we're pushing that to mobile in Q1 this year. We have several mini games, but ultimately over the next year or so, we're really pushing towards decentralization. We want to bring other independent game developers into our ecosystem and kind of support them along the way to build games with us. The vision would almost be similar to like a Kickstarter for games, right? Like you have this kind of incubator where you have a community of people behind you that can kind of analyze and support the ideas you're putting out there and kind of promote the quality and the development along the way. We have an NFTL token, which is ultimately like our governance token that kind of supports that voting structure there. And so, yeah, like I guess you could say our ultimate mission is going to be kind of like to establish a game studio of unparalleled quality in the meantime. And with that, we want to inspire other indie game developers to kind of build a decentralized future with us.
That's awesome. Love that you're trying to inspire other indie game developers. And congratulations again on launching the mini games and your other project as well. I believe you mentioned it was last year, so that's huge. Really, really awesome. I have to check some of those mini games out. So I guess kind of following up to that, apart from your really awesome mission and overall things that your team has accomplished, what makes Nifty League unique to you as people working on the project? This is for both of you.
Awesome. Yeah, I don't know, Bo, if you want to kick it off.
Yeah, sure. Well, I think what makes Nifty League unique to me is probably something that's kind of unsung is like the humor in our games. I think, the animations, the little blurbs and crud and things that characters say when you play is just a really fun experience. And I think it really stands out from other Web3 games I've seen. And that's really a credit to our pixel artist, Mike Scott, who's just incredible. And I think that humor just kind of comes through the game and makes it a really light, fun experience, even though it's like this, PvP brawler and you're trying to, beat the crap out of someone. It actually just makes it really lighthearted and fun. So I think that in combination, like with the art, like the incredible art, proof in the pudding, as I always say, in what we're doing. And I'm just excited to see us, carry that torch forward more. So.
Yeah, and I was actually going to point out that as well, Bolo. I think what makes us unique is we've always kind of put product first, and with our launch for NFTs, we had a working game right out the gate, and we've really been able to kind of foster a community of people who are just really supporters of like what we're building, and that community kind of sets us apart from others. I would say it's really kind of unique and cool environment for people to contribute to.
Definitely does sound unique, especially with the call out for your pixel artists. I'm assuming those are the arts for your guys' respective project, for those who aren't familiar with the art style.
Yeah, I mean, that's our profile pic art is by Mike Scott. He's just incredible. And I really think his art has influenced, the game and the culture, tenfold. So kudos to Mike.
Yeah, love it. Love the art style altogether. Might have to snag one of those myself. So after the initial intro, right? After the initial intros here, are you guys okay if we jump into some gameplay questions here?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. So first off, you have the Niftyverse and also Degen NFTs. I'd be curious to explore, some of the gameplay side of things before we get to the tokenomics. So first off, Niftyverse is the central hub for all of your games. Is there a common thread throughout all of these games, or will they be a collection of different types of playstyles and genres?
Yeah, so I guess on Niftyverse, that's a product coming out next year, or at least with our alpha version in Q1. And that's ultimately, it's going to be like a social hub for our community, but also, it is a central hub for all of our games. And we kind of always envision it as, an area almost kind of replacing lobby system where you kind of go into and talk with people and then kind of jump immediately into some of our games, like Nifty Smashers, which is, high competitive. It's a platformer type game. And one cool, I guess, way we've always seen it is having like a huge arena in the middle of a Niftyverse where you can kind of go to congregate and get ready to battle.
Yeah, I guess I could chime in a little. I think we've always envisioned it as this, a social hub, a platform. But I think it's a way for, gamers to kind of maybe potentially, personalize things, become more, enmeshed inside like the actual game. I think that's what, I think Niftyverse will be that for our, project. And I think that's kind of what Web3 provides, is the ability to sort of personalize, customize, and give you a different experience as a gamer. So I think the fun part about Niftyverse is that it's literally full of possibilities. And we've made a lot of headway on it and have some, developments there. But yeah, it's gonna be coming next year.
That's huge. Excited to see what's coming down the pipeline. So I actually did want to follow up with Nifty Smashers just a little bit more. It plays such a big part, being in the center of the Niftyverse, kind of an arena. Why did you guys decide on that particular genre for one of your leading games?
Yeah, so part of the experience with Niftyverse, we really want to give players, kind of a unique game style where some people might not be in this brawler, some people might want like a card game. You really just kind of want to accommodate for any type of play style there. Platform-based sense is our very first game. Although it's quite difficult to really kind of nail down and get the networking down perfectly, it did kind of showcase our capabilities as a dev team to build something like that and to put our effort into a product that high quality. So I guess that's the one thing, but it's also just, if you look at like Super Smash Bros. Community as a whole, it's really kind of a vibrant community, fun, and a lot of people involved. So kind of want to tap into that as well.
Yeah, maybe I could chime in too, if you don't mind.
Of course, you're the guest.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I think what's also, I didn't start I'm not a founding member, but I actually was like the first, public person who minted Nifty League. And what attracted me about it was the ability to have that 1v1 gameplay. I think that's still kind of like the holy grail in games. And I personally was a huge, Smash Brothers fan. Probably did that a little too much in college playing N64 Smash. I broke a couple joysticks here and there. So this was like a feature and a play style that really intrigued me. It does come with its, challenges, which is why we're obviously, opening up a free-to-play funnel, right, and trying to work on collaborations and to just, fill those lobbies. But it still is such a rewarding experience when you actually just get to play with your friends or play with someone and who's playing on the other side of you, or you don't. It just brings like a different type of, gameplay feel to me personally.
And I guess a bit more on Smash Bros. too. A big initiative for us in Q1 is pushing that to mobile. And like Bolo was talking about free to play, that's going to be kind of a core component with that. We're building out like AI bot systems to kind of help fill the lobby, and really just kind of fine tuning the progression system and making sure players kind of keep coming back to play, and whether it's casual or competitive, have a good experience either way.
Yeah, there's one thing I always want to call out when I hear it, and I really appreciate your team taking the approach to make accessibility via free-to-play funnel. That's something that we don't always hear, but whenever I hear it, just, got to shout out your guys' project for being awesome and going a step and above there. So, shout out to you guys.
Thanks.
Anytime. It's kind of before the next question, or just to get to this next question. I know you guys also have some of the other mini games you referenced, like Crypto Winner and When Game. Could you tell us a little bit more about some of these mini games and what genres those fall into?
Yeah, sure. We have One Game, which is almost just like this button masher. It's almost, it's really easy that you're sort of just this baseball game. And what's kind of fun about it is that it really is just a simple mechanic. And then we have a Crypto Winter, which is sort of like this dodgeball-esque, like classic dodgeball-esque type game. And we put these out. They were, not something that we had on the roadmap for 2022, but we ended up putting them out as we had some ideas. And part of the process, like when you're, doing what we're all doing, and we're talking NFTs and Web3, is you try things, you do things. For us, this was really just about, showing our holders, adding games to our platform. We can build, we can create. And now the next step for us is actually getting those tied into a more robust and elaborate progression system. And that's something that we really want to do, moving forward, especially as we, push to mobile. But they're really fun games. And I think they're also pretty lighthearted and fun. That is like a general theme. And there's something nostalgic about it. The games, it's just kind of something for the non-competitive player, maybe like the casual player who just wants to hop in and kind of play solo. But yeah, they just kind of bring you back to those comfy Nintendo-esque games that we all just grew up loving to play. Sneaking downstairs early morning or late at night to play. And that's really what those games are to me.
Did you have anything you wanted to add on to that as well, Andy?
No, beautifully said by Bolo.
Yeah, definitely well said. I really appreciate the thread of just the humor and kind of lightheartedness that seems to be following your guys' project, whether it's the art, the theming of the games, like you said, some of the funny dialogue. So I guess I'm going to take a little tangent here just because I'm curious. What inspired that in particular? Was that kind of the art inspired the mood, or was this something intentionally set after?
A lot of the inspiration from that came from one of our creative director, Mike, the artist we were talking about earlier. He always has an idea up his sleeves, and he's just a really creative person by nature. And it's just, it was a really kind of fun thing to put together for him and our developers, and kind of wanted to give our community something else to play while we're still building some of the back end services and getting things lined up for mobile launch.
Yeah, I think it's sort of just this natural thing. I think Mike is just a really creative guy, and it just kind of he's kind of overflowing with creativity, and he's always just kind of having fun drawing things. And I think it kind of just fell into place when he met Andy and Snarfy, and then they started building games together, and then it just is one of those things that kind of becomes a style without even trying to be a style. So to me, I really like that about our project, and it's not really a forceful thing. It's just one of those things where, hey, we are DGens after all. Like our project, is built off of being a DGen. So I think you kind of got to have fun with it, right?
Absolutely. And actually leads me to my next question. So how many tribes of DGens exist, and could you tell us a little bit about what the DGens, I'm making the quotes here, but what the DGens are in relation to your guys' tokenomics?
Yeah, we have 6 different tribes. We have apes, humans, dogs, frogs, cats, and aliens. And that was also really fun while we were founding the company, just trying to figure out which kind of what animals, whatever it might be, that would be fun for the community to mint. And we went through several our phases of mocking up different types of tribes, and ended up with those. And then I guess early on with the Mint-to-Mat experience, I don't know if it was obvious for later users, but those were actually any DGen you see on OpenSea today is created by the community themselves. So we gave you a set of 120, I think, 1,020 different traits, and then from there you kind of select, and as the mint progressed, different traits would sell out. So yeah, it was just kind of fun. We wanted to switch things up a little bit. There's a lot of projects out there that were focused on one set, like a ape or whatever it might be, but we would kind of want to switch things up and get some kind of creativity in there, make it more fun.
Yeah, and we even have one, still yet to be revealed 7th tribe. It is coming, DGens. I know you guys are all, eagerly waiting, but it is coming. We've kind of thrown some curveballs along the way, which is, we always like to have fun with things. But, yeah, we're excited to actually reveal that 7th tribe. They're currently, living in eggs right now on the Ethereum blockchain, but they will hatch soon. So there's only 5 of them currently. So that's pretty exciting. And what's also cool is Spike was actually going through what you guys were, you were talking about early on, Andy. He showed some of the tribes that didn't make the cut. I don't know, maybe we'll have to show some of those someday. I mean, that was pretty fun to look through. Those are the real DGens, because they're so DGen they didn't even make the DGen cuts. I mean, they're beyond degenerate. So
It's truly some of the Nifty League deep lore there. Maybe if we have some time at the end of the session, I'd be curious to hear a little bit about that.
Oh, I think something else we should say too, with the tribes, each tribe actually has their own special in Smashers, David. So the ape tosses a banana, the Doge actually turns into a Doge coin and rolls and tumbles at you. It's actually really hard to control. It's almost like a knuckle puck. Super cool. And then we have the human, which throws a bomb and it explodes. And we also have the frog, which has a sticky tongue and it can pull you. We have cats who can, creep and pounce and they're really fast. And then aliens can teleport. So it's pretty cool because each tribe kind of can cater to a certain play style. And, the 7th will also have something else too. So.
The true lore. Thanks for letting me know that they actually do have some gameplay functionality as well, depending on the tribe. Sure. So we've got about 9 minutes here, so I want to just cover some general tokenomics questions for some of our first-time listeners who aren't too familiar with Nifty's tokenomics. So are there any kinds of play and earn mechanics, and are there tournaments, free-to-play game modes, and rental modes coming as well? I know you touched on free-to-play, but how do those things all factor together alongside the play and earn mechanics?
Do you want me to take this one, Andy?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, so yeah, we actually launched like with Play and Earn in, I guess spring of 2022, but it was kind of more of an effort of promotion, really. It was to bring players in, but we saw soon that it wasn't going to be something sustainable. So we actually just launched, just a couple weeks ago, our Compete and Earn system. And this is actually a less than zero sum earning system. It's essentially like a wager-based system. But the cool part about that is it actually, triggers burning events in each, match that you play. And right now, like this can be up to 16 players, which we currently haven't done that, but we're trying to actually get that coordinated. But we think this is something, much more stable for the long run and will give us a better foundation. And not just be such an inflationary thing like Play and Earn can be. And it can be powerful. You just have to harness it. And I think our whole space has kind of felt that. So we just feel more comfortable moving this direction. And it's something that we just launched, but we're really excited about it and building off of that for the future.
Yeah, it's like we really had to kind of be fluid with the market here. Bolo was mentioned we launched with this play to earn model, kind of taking credit from like Axie's early days. And then we had the rental model where any DGen could be rented, rather similar to scholarships, but you'd pay an NFTL fee up front, and with that you'd be able to play with their character in our Nifty Smashers game. But ultimately, things change with the market, and we really kind of want to move towards more zero-sum game and kind of really promote the competitiveness in some of our titles. And yeah, that's kind of where we ended up today. It's been an exciting journey.
Definitely is super interesting. Excited to see how the tournaments end up shaking out. So I guess other than that, there's the NFTL tokens and arcade tokens. What are the differences? How can you earn them? And what can you use them for?
So, well, if you look at any game today, there's any mobile game, for example, there's usually a number of different currencies kind of involved in the ecosystem. NFTL is like the very first token we gave away free to DGens who minted. DGens earn a little bit each day, and it's always been kind of marked as a utility token for our ecosystem, but also ultimately going to be the governance token, which is kind of like the long-term vision of ours, right? Like we really want to kind of push towards decentralization, open a DAO, and with that, like let the holders of that token kind of determine which developers are bringing quality to our ecosystem and what kind of causes we want to support there. And as the games kind of progress, like once the mobile game is out, we'll be pushing to kind of integrate that in different unique ways, whether it be buying some sort of items or kind of upgrading your character. There's going to be kind of a lot of fun use cases for it there as well. The arcade token is something we introduced with the mini games launches, and that's actually a token you earn from playing Nifty Smashers. You can earn it daily there, and then you use that token to play some of the mini games. And with like the mobile release of our game, well, it'll probably operate rather similarly, unlocking different like daily quests and stuff that you can do, and really kind of part of the progression system as a whole.
Yeah, I think our token NFTL will actually be more like a tier 3 type currency, like in the future. Like you'll have like a tier 1 currency, maybe like a tier 2, and then NFTL could be like a pathway to that Web3 experience. And the more robust our progression system becomes, even if it's not called an arcade token, right? As like it could be something different. It could be that on the mobile game. That's something, we've yet to decide, but, we're working at trying to get a more, meaningful way to get those to cooperate in the future as well.
Nice. Thanks for the clarifications on those tokens. So we've got about 4 minutes left here. And before we get to our wrap-up questions, I believe you guys had a giveaway during the AMA you guys wanted to cover really quick.
Yeah, sure. And I also wanted to say one thing too. Like, I forgot to say this. We just launched our sign up for our first cross IP tournament today, David. So it's actually with our first partner, which is CyberKongs. So if you have a CyberKongs VX or a DGen NFT, you can compete in this tournament. It has 10,000 banana, 5 Kongs VXs, and 20 Nifty League DGens up for grabs. This is our biggest tournament ever, so definitely take a peep at our Twitter. Sorry, I just had to drop that. Now, to the good stuff, or extra good stuff. Yeah, we're giving away 2 DGens and 4 comics. So I'm going to we can kind of have fun here. I'm going to kind of like drop my finger on some people randomly, and since you're all here, and just DM me after this, and or the team account, whatever, and we'll make sure we get it to you. So I'm gonna do a comic 1 right now, and I'm gonna just drop my finger. Bourbon Steve, you got one. We can do a comic 2. I'm just going to drop it down here. Got to go quick. T. Tully. I'm going to do a comic 3. I'm dropping a finger. Where does it land? No one knows. Phenomenal. Comic 4. Again, these comics are, what we're actually, you're burning for wearables, and those show up on the IMX marketplace. Comic 4. Rubik. All right, now I'm going to let Andy give out the next. We have 2 DGens, Andy. Go for it. Go quick.
You're just scrolling quick and putting your finger
Yeah,
on.
I'm just scrolling and doing magic finger drops, so that's what I'm doing.
Hopefully I don't rug myself and exit or something.
Yeah.
All right, we got a Kathleen.eth.
Ooh, a DGen.
All right, wait, is that Kathleen from IMX team?
I don't know. There's one more. You get one more.
All right.
Everybody throw up a 5 right now.
And a district.
District. Cool. Everyone that we announced, send a DM. I guess it's recorded, so that way we can, circle back.
Awesome. You heard it from them. And really quick, more so for my own personal satisfaction, are you guys going to be streaming your tournament anywhere? Is there anywhere I can watch it in case I miss it in real time?
Yeah, so, since I handle all the tournaments, we're going to definitely be trying to, coordinate these on Twitch. What we've actually come to learn, like, these are global tournaments. So we do 1v1 matches. These are like international. They usually take about like a week. But yes, be on the lookout on our Twitch for like the semifinals and the finals, which are much easier. But the entire thing, not really going to happen since this is on a global scale. But the juicy, mega juicy matches, definitely. So be on the lookout for our Twitter for a Twitch link.
Awesome. I will be sure to check that out. Well, we're at time here, but I have one last question for our sign-offs. So this is a question we always ask all of our partners, have to ask it, and that's what's one thing about Nifty League that the audience should take away from this conversation today? Like, if for the last 30 minutes people have been hearing anything, what's the one thing they should take back with them? And that's for both of you.
Well, we
right,
didn't
I'll go.
get into the...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah, we didn't quite get into the IMX integration, and kind of want to touch on that and just how this partnership really kind of fuels us for scalability in the future. And I think it's kind of, it's important to note that we're putting everything in motion now, and once our mobile game's out there, IMX is going to kind of set us up for the success that we need and the scalability that we're kind of looking for. So really kind of excited to work with these guys and, happy to be here and talk with you today.
And yeah, to, I guess, piggyback on that, I guess just know that we are an incredibly hardworking team that avidly listens to community. It's not just us doing this. We really are all in this together. And that's really the Web3 ethos as a whole. So I guess the one takeaway is just know that we will work hard, we will listen, and we're always trying to bring, the next frontier of, or be on the next frontier of games, and that's something that we're trying to be a part of. So just know that about us.
I do love that about you and the team. So really happy to have had you here both, Andy and Dave. So really quick before I pass it to you to sign off, just have to go through the usual sign-off procedures here. So before we end, just wanted to remind everyone, please join the Nifty League Discord, follow their Twitter, follow their communities. As you've heard, they've got an awesome tournament coming up, as well as some other cool things coming down the pipeline. And likewise for Immutable, please stop by our Discord, check out our awesome Quest program. It's a great way to learn more about Web3 and cool projects just like Nifty League. And with that, I'll go ahead and pass it over to you, Dave and Andy. I'll let you guys say goodbye. You were a wonderful guest, so it's only fair you get to close us out.
Yeah, thanks again, everyone, for showing up and listening. It's a pleasure to be here and speak with you.
Yes, thank you all so much for taking time out of your day to come chop it up with us and IMX. We're just super hyped about this partnership and what they're doing for the future of Web3 games. Make sure to show them some love. Just thank you so much. We'll see you guys in